Hi, welcome to Wetpixel Live. My name's Adam Hanlon, and I'm also joined today by our regular contributor, Alex Mustard. Hi, Alex. You're looking very bokeh'd today.
Yeah. No, I thought I'd green screen my way out of having to tidy my room again.
Well, the bubble bokeh
If
looks
only
very
I
good
knew
on you.
about this when I was a kid, it'd been great.
Yeah. So last week, I think late last week, the winners of the Ocean Photography Awards were announced. And as Alex and I like to do on Wetpixel Live, we thought we might discuss some of the winners with a somewhat critical eye. I think that's fair to say, Alex, isn't it? We do like to discuss them realistically, don't we?
I think with all the competition, I think people have really enjoyed the competition review episodes on Wetpixel Live.
Yeah.
And I think we should. There's no point us two sitting here going, "Oh, that's great, that's great, that's great."
Yeah, lovely.
These are obviously all competition winning results are likely to be stunning images,
Yeah.
and I think we should always look at them as to see what we can take away and what maybe is maybe less good about them. So it's what could be done better and what is really great. And, I think those are the things to try and question about each one.
And they very reflect our personal take and the feelings that the images evoke in us as well. So
yeah, and I would say that we're never disputing results when we do these things.
No, absolutely not.
It's because we don't know. Competition's about beating what else is in the competition, and we're discussing the images based on the images alone, not what else was in the competition.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think first of all, I think what I would say is this sounds like a really exciting competition because it's trying to bring together ocean photography as a whole. Which is far more than just underwater photography. And I think that's really, really exciting because a lot of the time, underwater photographers tend to think in this isolated bubble. And actually, I think underwater photographers will get a lot of inspiration from seeing images from other ocean photographers, whether they're landscape photographers or nature photographers or whatever, taking pictures around the ocean. I think one of the challenges the competition has is that underwater photographers are used to competitions. We have loads of competitions. Whereas I think a lot of landscape photographers don't really do a lot of competitions. It's not really as much a part of their DNA. And so there's some wonderful landscape photography of the ocean that I think would be amazing in this competition. And I think the challenge for the organisers is to try and reach that community and not just end up with a competition that's only entered by underwater photographers and a few others. But I think what's exciting is this isn't just here's another new underwater photography competition. It's actually here's a competition trying to do something really different and produce a set of images that are really worth seeing, which I think is really great.
Yep, I agree. And it's hosted by Oceanographic Magazine, so they're the organisers and the hosts of the competition. So and again, it's similar sort of ethos. They're dedicated to the sort of whole ocean experience of the whole ocean ecosystem, rather than just the bit that's below the waves. So
and I think that's probably an ideal platform then to reach these other photographers.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
So I think one of the challenges is they're very different worlds. And it's difficult to get them all to enter.
Yeah. So the winning image, sort of from the top. Yeah. The winning image is a beautiful shot of the mobile arrays from Mexico, shot by Nadia Ali. This is an annual aggregation that happens down there. It's happening at the moment, I think. Am I right in saying that, Alex?
Yeah. I've certainly seen loads of pictures this week from Magdalena Bay and also around La Paz as well.
Yeah.
And stunning subject matter. I think Nadia is in the last few years has produced a lot of very strong images, and I think is a very worthy overall winner. For this competition, so I think that's really great. I think it would have been really good message from this competition to actually make an above water picture the overall winner, just because I think that would have really helped them see that this is more than just another underwater photography competition. And actually, my favourite image in the competition that I've not seen every single image, but of the winners is I don't know if you can pull it up for everyone to see. Is this one of the two penguins looking at the lights of the city?
Yeah, from Melbourne, isn't it? To me, I quite agree. I think it's a fantastic picture. It's an amazing moment. It's very evocative. I mean, it's very cute, but it's also quite poignant. I think it's a fantastic image. Yeah, I love it.
The other one I really like, I'm sorry I'm messing up your order here, is I think it was the runner-up in the adventure category of two sharks in a breaking wave. I think that's a really, really unusual and remarkable image.
Yeah.
Or, really memorable one. I'm not quite sure why it's in an adventure category. I think that photographer probably would have done better if they'd entered it in another category, actually.
Yeah.
It doesn't really say adventure to me.
Yeah, Sean Scott is the photographer. It is, but again, I mean, actually, the moment again, it's a moment thing, isn't it? But presumably, this was a behaviour that the sharks were doing, and he was able to catch it. Be able in the right place, right time. But probably it took more than that. It took more planning, and it was shot in Western Australia. So, but okay. I mean, yeah, again, an amazing moment. I possibly because I've been there a few times. There's Jason Gully's winner of the adventure photography category, which I think is a really good winner of an adventure category. Is a wonderful picture of this freediving instructor hanging above the hydrogen sulfide cloud in Cenote Angelito in Mexico, and I think it's it really does capture this idea. It's very otherworldly. It sort of looks like you could be in space or possibly
the scale of it. Yeah. Not exactly ocean, but I presume that he allowed freshwater pictures.
Yeah, it's a good point, really. I mean, yeah.
I'm sure that's in the rules. I was only commenting on that. But no, I love this picture. I love the space. Yeah. I think you see a lot of pictures of those sticks in Angelita coming out of the water, out of the sulfide cloud. Sorry. Yeah. But I think actually the huge space in this really makes it feel like an image from another world, and that's really really powerful.
I think I mean, I don't know how he shot it, but obviously he's managed to light up. That's pretty dark in there. There is light from above, but it's not a huge amount. So he's done a pretty good job of lighting it. I'm not quite sure. I should imagine he's pushed the ISO really hard to get that. So technically quite a difficult image to accomplish as well.
Yeah, and probably making use of the latest cameras. It doesn't look super sharp into the corners, but making use of the latest camera technology. And creating, images that weren't possible before. So, and I think that's the sort of thing that's really exciting, something really, really fresh and nice to see. Right, which ones do you want to do next? So I've kind of messed up your order a bit.
So I think maybe so the first place was obviously Nadia's modular ray
which I would say is an amazing situation.
Yeah.
For me, it's not a standout shot of that amazing situation. It's similar to lots of other shots I've seen. I find the chaos in this one not as pleasing graphically as some of even Nadia's own shots, but other photographers' shots where you've got energy but a bit less chaos.
Yeah.
But
I actually quite like I quite like the curves. I quite like the curves of the fins, particularly of the two sort of leading animals.
It's not so much that; it's the fact that everything seems to be going in different directions, reacting a bit to the photographer. Yeah, they're kind of, it's that water splatting on a windscreen look, as opposed to animals majestically sweeping, doing their own thing.
Yeah. There definitely is a reaction. You're right. Yeah.
As a view to wow people of the ocean, it's an amazing image.
Yes. Yeah. It's very engaging, isn't it? Yeah. So the second place image, so runner up, is Sasha Specker, and this is a picture of a surfer, a monochrome picture of a surfer from below, from Hawaii, and I mean it's obviously a very dynamic image as surfing pictures normally
very
are.
Nice composition.
Yeah.
I
think the black and white suits the image. Actually, I think it's more dramatic as black and white. I think as a color probably it would be less dramatic, because of it's obviously emphasizing the contrast in the picture.
Yeah, I think it's probably converted to black and white to help it. It probably was a little wishy-washy in color.
I would guess so,
I have to say, I've seen a lot of surfing pictures. It's a decent one, but it's not an absolute world leader. No. I've seen, it's not a picture I go, if you've never seen a shot like this before, it's amazing. Yeah. If you've seen surfing photography, I've seen, more spectacular surfing photography from underwater.
Certainly, we used to have a surf category in some of our in the Wetpixel competition, and we haven't done for a few years. But some of the entries in that were absolutely stunning. So it's very nice. I think the treatment of it, the processing of it, really benefits it. Yeah,
and it's a nice message too to have a person, showing how people benefit from the ocean.
yeah, yeah. And the third place is a picture of southern right whale by Magnus Lundborg, and I think, whilst it's a lovely image, for me, this is very much one that's been selected on the basis of what the image is of, rather than necessarily about the image itself. Southern right whales are rare, and pictures of them are very rare.
And a white one is even rarer.
And a white one's even rarer. Yeah. So I think that's really the reason for it being included in the lineup.
And I guess as a judge, you could say that there is a real, you deserve to be rewarded for the effort it takes to get in front of a subject like this.
Sure.
It's not a picture where someone has seen something that everyone else in the world has seen before and made a original image. It's someone who's worked hard to get in front of something that most people have never seen. And so I can understand the justification in the judging process, even though for me it's if it was any other subject, you'd delete it straight away.
Yeah. It's not it's definitely a picture of a specific subject. And then we've discussed sort of briefly the adventure photography of the year. So we've discussed Jason Gully's picture from Angelita.
That was very nice.
We've talked about Sean Scott's picture of the sharks in the wave.
That's a lovely shot too.
And then we've got some swirling devil rays in courtship by Duncan Morrell, which was third place adventure photographer.
And there's this picture, I think, has been awarded both in the wildlife photographer a couple of years ago and before that in ocean art. I think it was awarded. And there's no doubting it's a really awesome composition. There may have been different frames of it. I haven't checked. It may be the same frame, maybe like the preceding frame, but I think they're all the same frame with this very, very pleasing composition of the three rays. I have to say, having judged this picture in competitions, I'm not convinced it's particularly sharp. But maybe the judges on this occasion it's the feeling of it, and these are big animals. It's the shape of them that matters, not how much detail you can see in the eye. It's really but it's a lovely composition and perfect timing on the shot. I love how the tail wraps around, creates this kind of spirally circle effect in the picture. It's very nice.
And of course, the fact that it's shot with a fisheye really emphasises the curves, doesn't it? So again, it's a good example of, oftentimes with bigger creatures, I tend to prefer the more rectilinear look, but this one definitely, because of the composition, because of the position of the animals within the frame, the fisheye really suits the image. Yeah.
And this is a species that you don't see. The monks mobulas, that were the overall winner. You see lots of photos of those. These are much bigger mobulas, and this is a species you see photographed less. So that's nice.
So moving on, the winner of the Community Choice Award is Tobias Baumgartner, and I hope I've got his name right. And this is this picture of these two penguins looking out across the water with Melbourne's lights in the distance. And for me, it's the star of the show, I have to say. It's a wonderful image. I put it on my wall. It makes me smile every time I look at it.
It does. It's not something that I understand anything about the situation or anything about, about how this picture came about. But it's a very, very memorable shot. And it's clearly no surprise that it's won a public vote or whatever the Community Choice Award is, which I presume is a sort of a public social media vote. It's clearly a crowd pleaser and a very memorable shot. Really nice. And great to see shots like this sitting side by side with underwater pictures.
Yeah, absolutely. And lovely. And the shortlisted Community Choice Award is a picture of a stellar sea lion, presumably just looking from Hornby Island, by Celia Kujala, and it's again, as you say, it's a Community Choice Award, and you can see why. It's a crowd pleaser.
It's a nice shot. It's not. It's a good, nice strobe lit shot of a sea lion. Again, I think very well selected by the photographer for this type of, audience judged. I know, even within local competitions in the UK, photographers, if they know it's being audience judged, they go, oh, right, we better go cute rather than, photographically creative. So, yeah, very nice.
And I think the conditions, I think actually the black background, probably Hornby Island is very much green water background. And I think probably, by reducing exposure in the background, has actually helped to get this image to get a little punch, center frame, black background. It definitely is it's the audience, the wow factor. It's like, here I am.
I suspect there was some backscatter needed cleaning, having done those sorts of shots.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So the conservation category, which I think is really worth talking about next.
Yeah.
And the winner of that is Matt Sharp for a hermit crab on plastic waste in the Maldives.
Yeah.
And I think it looks like a young the crabs that climb the pine trees. Not pine trees, the palm trees. But anyway, really, graphic image with a very strong message.
Yeah.
I think nice to see that done with a different species. Often this is done either, with pelagic species, turtle, shark, plastic problems with those, or with seabirds. So really nice to see a crustacean as a star, this type of picture. I really like.
It's very dramatic, isn't it? And then the runner-up of that is an interesting shot. Actually, it's an aerial shot, I presume, probably a drone shot, of a plastic bottle lying amidst the nests of a colony of imperial cormorants, which was taken in Argentina by Andrea Benvenuti. It's an interesting picture. I don't get the messages clearly. I have to say, I have to look at it a bit more closely. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Graphically, it's eye-catching.
It is,
I'm not the biggest fan of the lighting in it. It's bright in the middle. It falls off a lot to the sides. I really like the regular nature of the colony of the birds. I think that's really good. And there is a small gap where the bottle is, but the bottle looks brand new. It doesn't look like it's, it doesn't look like it's the previous picture. They were clearly a wash up of bottles that have ended up there. That bottle doesn't look like it's suddenly, looks like it's relatively recent arrival, and it doesn't seem to be having the biggest impact on the wildlife. No. I mean, it'd be great if it wasn't there, but it doesn't seem to be, really such a big issue. Whereas the hermit crab shot, the bottle's having the plastic is having a much bigger.
I think it lacks immediacy as a conservation photograph. I don't think it has that immediate, like, right, I need to go and do something about this. It has I have to search for it a bit more, which is probably means it's probably not quite as powerful. But the third picture is a picture that, again, has done the rounds. It's Joe Daniels' picture of oceanic white tip from the Red Sea, from the Egyptian Red Sea, with a diver's regulator holder that was caught around its neck. And has actually grown into the shark's flesh. My understanding is they've actually managed to remove it from the shark.
It was on there. The first photos I saw of it were from 2018, and Joe's picture was actually taken on my workshop in 2019. There. This was taken at Little Brother Island, I know. And about 2 weeks after we were there, they finally caught this shark and cut the regulator off it, the regulator holder. I think it's a powerful image of showing this, and I think it works well. I think it's got more emotional impact than the runner-up.
Yes, I agree. I think it also has a salutary message in that as divers and photographers, we can tend to somewhat ignore the fact that the impact we have ourselves. We tend to sometimes forget that, and this is obviously, and the only reason this was there was because the divers left it there somehow. And it's an important thing. It's a salutary tale for those of us that enjoy the underwater world. That we're equally responsible for looking after it, and not creating situations like this. It's easy to blame plastic manufacturers and so on and so forth, but this is not a plastic manufacturer. It's a diver that's done this.
A very nice image. I think that's probably quite a good place to wind that up. I think that's gone through the most interesting categories.
I agree.
But I think I like the idea of this competition of mixing underwater images of the ocean with topside and a variety of pictures of the ocean, and allowing that community to feel as one. And I think that's got to be a positive thing for the ocean.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think that graphically as well, having that mixture for people viewing these images, there's a wonderful selection. It is a variety of images, and I think that's got to be positive, as you say, for in generally showcasing the beauty of the oceans. It's not only the underwater bit, the bit above the water is every bit spectacular. So, So I think that. So I think hopefully the competition will carry on. And I think it will be one that's really valued by underwater photographers as well as land photographers. And I think that's probably the challenge for the organisers, is to really get the topside photographers engaged in getting their images, because there's a lot of topside ocean photography that's done. I mean, there's books kind of called The Ocean that are published that are entirely topside pictures. Absolutely.
And I think it's something we often forget about as underwater photographers. So it's good to be reminded.
Yeah. So, Alex, have you been posting pictures on Instagram recently?
A little bit, yeah. Because I've been mainly shooting in the UK, been mainly making people suffer my British pictures, which are nice, but they're not quite as crowd pleasing as pictures of sharks and dolphins and mobula rays. But yeah.
So, and you're Alex? No, go on and you tell me. What
Alex Mustard 1 on Instagram.
Thank you.
And Alex_Mustard on Twitter, and also on Wetpixel, actually.
Okay, fantastic. So thank you for that, Alex. And I would like to thank our sponsor for this, which is Inon or Inon from the States. Please feel free to add any comments to the comment section below about the competition or the images, and feel free to please drop us a like if you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you again soon.